All right, it looks like we're live now. How's everyone doing? Okay. Let's just give a little bit of time for chat to catch up here. All right. Hello. Welcome. This is sort of a experimental thing I'm trying out here. It is character building, a little tutorial on character building for Pathfinder, where you guys can come along with me, and we will build character ideas that get submitted through my Patreon little thing here. Oh, Cloudgazer 45 with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you. All right, let's see. Thank you very much. So, what we're doing here is it's pretty straightforward. We're gonna build Doomguy in Pathfinder. So, if you look in the description, I've got two links in there. One is to a PDF, which we have over here on the left, or on the right, and then on the left here we have our Pathfinder SRD, which is basically like all the information you need for building any sort of character you want. You'll find it right here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fill in a little bit of background info here. So our character is Doomguy. Our player is Wooten's Pathfinder stream. The difference between D&D and Pathfinder is Pathfinder is part of the open game license that came out during the D&D 3.5 days. It's basically just a D&D system that is separate from the Wizards of the Coast version, because it's just a new version. Pathfinder tends to be a bit more number heavy, which is why you don't see a lot of tutorials for it, because most people go into Pathfinder either knowing that it's number heavy or have no idea what they're getting themselves into. And so I'm going to try to alleviate a little bit of that. So we're going to, let's see, let me look up a quick height for Doomguy. Oh, well, perfect. They have the information for me right on a Google search. So he is 6'2", and he is 230 pounds. His hair is, let's see, what do they have? I remember, I think I saw it. It was like black in the trailer for Doom Eternal. So we'll do that. Eyes red because he's angry. Skin white. And then age, we'll say like 30. Why not? Alignment, chaotic, neutral, because he will fight both angels and demons. Deity. What's the... what should we do? No deity. And then homeland. It was... What was his homeland? What was it called? Well, actually, you know what? What was his... well, I mean, he's from Earth, so I guess that'll work. Earth. And then common, we'll start just baseline there. So the first thing that we have to get are his ability scores. So at a baseline, everyone, like a normal human person, is at 10 all around. You get 0 modifier. That's completely average. So we have to adjust this a little bit because our Doomguy isn't just an average boy. He's quite strong. He is quite dexterous because he can jump quite far and he can aim his gun very accurately. He's pretty durable. All things considered, he probably doesn't have as high of intelligence because his first instinct is to just break everything. His general wisdom, generally pretty average wisdom, and then charisma will be 14 because he's very intimidating. Very intimidating. The demons don't want anything to do with him. All right. So, humans, as part of their racial ability, get a +2 to any single ability score. So we'll put that into strength to even out his strength and dexterity, because that will be equal parts punching and punching and melee with his weapons, and equal parts aiming and firing. So that sort of goes along with each other. So, what build is ideal for someone using guns? Well, the go-to is a Gunslinger, which is the firearms, like the class that gets brought in with firearms. You get a number of different abilities with the Gunslinger, but in particular, we're going to go down here to the gun tank. So the thing about the gun tank is that it allows you to wield, it allows you to wear heavy armor. And that is going to be very useful to us for our Doomguy. So he is going to gain 11 hit points from that. Gun tank. Gunslinger. And so what we do here, since he's level 1, he will take the right along here. Right along here is where we want to be. So first level Gunslinger gets base attack bonus of 1. A skill ranks per level from his class is 4. This is not going to be his favorite class, and we'll get into that a bit later. So we'll put a 0 there. His fort save is 2. His reflex save is 2. His will save is 0, and his level is 1. So that's what we're going to be taking from Gunslinger. And this is just to get us proficiency with firearms. So we'll put proficiency, and we'll also open up the gun tank here. He's proficient with all armors, shields, and we'll also get simple martial weapons and firearms. So this gives us all of our proficiencies from that we'll need going forward. 1 second, real quick. I'm going to add one thing down here for his skill. His racial ability from human, he is skilled. He gets +1 skill rank per level. And that's regardless of whatever level you end up taking. So we'll put a skilled up here, and we'll just put a 1 there. And then intelligence -1. We'll put a -1. in there. Okay, so that will go along rather nicely. So these abilities over here will basically just have to copy into his sheet here. So gunsmith, start with firearm. We won't be using it though, because we'll be getting a special weapon here momentarily. Start with firearm and grit, special abilities from Gunslinger, and then deeds. To accomplish deeds. Now, in particular, at first level, we get Deadeye, Gunslinger's Dodge, and Quick Clear. Now, these are specific abilities that are given to the Gunslinger at level 1, but the Gun Tank modifies Gunslinger's Dodge to give Gun Tank's Resolve, which gives him protection against critical hits. So we will leave those there. And that's all we're taking from Gunslinger, except you'll also need his class skills. So acrobatics, bluff, climb, craft, handle animal, heal, intimidate, knowledge engineering, local, knowledge local. Now these are specific skills that you would be using in your game outside of combat and some inside combat. Perception, profession, ride, sleight of hand, survival, and swim. Now that's all we're taking from Gunslinger. Next, we are going to hop over to something that seems much more fitting for the Doomslayer, someone who's very angry all the time, the Barbarian. Now, Barbarian is pretty straightforward. Gets angry, smashes things. In particular, we're going to be popping down here to grab two archetypes in particular, the Urban Barbarian and the Invulnerable Rager. He basically just is so angry that he just wades through combat. So, real quick, we'll just go right down the list here. So, alignment, you can't be lawful if you're going to be a barbarian. So that's pretty straightforward. Doomguy is quite far from lawful, I would say. So, honestly, I can just do this because these two end up canceling each other out. Because that actually works out nicely. So, 12. Invulnerable Rager. Well, we'll just do Urban Invulnerable Rager. Barbarian. Now, this is going to end up being the class that we take all the way up through level 20. So we're going to hit all those. So over here, you see down here, we're going to take up to 19th level. So we're going to have 19, then 11, 6, 6, and 4 plus int modifier. So 4 times 19. Let's just pull up a quick calculator just so I'm correct. 19 times 4 is 76. Yeah, Just making sure. And favorite class, hit points. We'll just stick all of his hit points into there. His favorite class bonus things. Down here, we have our Fortitude, Reflex, and Will saves at 11, 6, 6, and his level will be 19, which will bring him up to 20. Oh, Cloud Gazer 45 with another $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Doomguy and Isabel playing Pathfinder. I want a commission of that so badly. Just the two of them sitting across from each other, just rolling dice and having this little grid with little monsters along it. That'd be pretty cute. I like that. Anyway, so favorite class, Barbarian. We're gonna stick him there. We're just making this pretty simple, all things considered. The thing about the Doomslayer here, let me pull up some information here. So, as you level up, you're going to be getting... since we're just building him at a certain point, we're just going to take the average of all the hit dice. So every time you level up, you roll a d12, and whatever the result is, that's going to be your total hit points. And so we'll just do something like, let's see, average on 12, you would round up, so it would be 7 every level. So 7 times 19. 7 times 19. 7 times 19. 7. Well, actually, you know what? It'd be 8 times 19 because of his constitution. So 152 for the Barbarian levels. And so his total hit points at level 20 will be 182 before any extra equipment or anything. So with that, we have all of these various abilities here. First things first, we'll start with fast movement. The Barbarian gets a bonus on his movement speed up to 10 feet. So his total speed is 40 and 40. And I believe that's only thing from fast movement. Rage. As a free action, so anytime during his turn, rage for number of rounds. That's pretty straightforward. You get bonuses to your strength and constitution, minuses to your armor class. So you're easier to hit, but you do more damage and you're able to take more damage. You get a number of rage powers, every even Barbarian level gain new power. It's pretty straightforward. And then trap sense is you gain, what is it at level 19? Plus 6 to reflex to avoid traps. And dodge AC. That's pretty straightforward. It's you have like a sixth sense when it comes to dealing with traps. Damage reduction. The thing about this is oh, interesting. Okay, so you don't actually get fast movement with the Urban Barbarian. I forgot about that. You get crowd control. And you get a plus +1 to attack rolls and a dodge AC when adjacent to 2 or more enemies. So, whenever you're in the thick of things and you're fighting demons, you get +1 to your attack rolls and +1 dodge to your AC. And then second is controlled rage. So it's a very, it's not a whenever Doomguy rages, it's not a overwhelming going berserk rage. It's a controlled seething rage, which is honestly a bit more intimidating, I'd say. Rage for a number of rounds and choose your bonuses. So you would get you would basically be able to distribute your bonuses between strength, dexterity, or constitution, depending on what you would like. So if you're wanting to rage and get a bonus to your dexterity, so your bonus to hit with shotguns and all your various firearm weapons, that would be something that you would use. So, let's see. In addition, you take no, you don't get a bonus on will saves, but you take no penalties to your AC, and you can still use all of your mental abilities. So basically, it's more bang for your buck. It's honestly the one that you would probably go with. So, with the Urban Barbarian, we have a couple of changes to our class skills. We get, we get Diplomacy, Knowledge Local, which we get from the Gunslinger, Knowledge Nobility, Linguistics, and Profession, which modifies what our normal class skills are. So that would be Acrobatics, Climb, Craft, Handle Animal, Intimidate, Knowledge Nature. Does it get rid of Knowledge Nature? Yeah. And Perception, Ride, Survival, Swim. Basically, a lot of the stuff that we have, we already get from the Gunslinger, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Next up, Invulnerable Rager. The damage reduction becomes Invulnerability. And you get a DR equal to half your Barbarian level. So the more you level up in Barbarian, the more damage you're able to withstand. It's literally better than what you would get through DR9 against everything. Boom. So we can just put that there. And, oh, you don't actually get Trap Sense. You get Extreme Endurance. Really the difference between Pathfinder and Dungeons & Dragons. The main difference that Pathfinder and D&D have in terms of just pure numbers standpoint, Pathfinder tends to get a bit higher, which is why you see like these insane numbers up here. They're kind of overwhelming for the typical new player of D&D. Whereas with regular D&D, none of your ability scores can go above, I think, 20, something like that. And it's very D&D, especially the recent 5th edition, is very simplified for a lot of the players coming into it. It's a lot easier to get into, a lot less numbers intensive, and a lot less... and you have to keep track of a lot less, basically. And so it's a lot easier to get into. But with Pathfinder, you get a lot more customizability with your builds, and you're able to create things like this, which is literally Doomguy in Pathfinder, is something one of my patrons suggested, and that's what we're doing here. And by the way, if you're wanting to suggest something for one of these Pathfinder streams, go ahead and if you pledge $5 on Patreon, that will allow you to get access to the Google form that you can send the character idea to. So that it can literally be anything, and we will do a Pathfinder stream on this, basically. So let's see. So extreme endurance. We're basically more okay. So we have a constant endure elements, and every 3 levels beyond third, that would be plus 6. So 6 fire cold resistance at level 19. Boom. And so I believe that's everything from the archetypes. And so we can go into the various abilities that we get here. So trap sense, damage reduction. Let's see. Greater rage. Vulnerability, extreme endurance. Greater rage. Indomitable will, tireless rage. Okay. So, greater rage. We're going to go down here. At 11th level, we get this. And that is our rage gives plus 6 to physical stats. Boom. And then Indomitable Will gives us plus 4 versus enchantment spells. And then Tireless Rage, no longer fatigued at the end of rage. So basically, whenever you rage, you end up getting fatigued, which is basically just you got to catch your breath for a couple of minutes. With that, yeah, I think that's everything. Boom. All right. So that's all of the base abilities here. And now we go down here to our skills. So we want, let's say, we'll just say 3, 1. We'll put 1 in just about everything, just to have a good all-around thing here. We're going to put 20 in Intimidate, because we are very intimidating, because that's what Doomguy is all about. And then Perception at 20, because it's the most rolled skill in the game. We're going to put 1 in Linguistics to understand Demonic, because that's fitting for the Doomguy. Yeah, Goody. The Urban Barbarian is almost all around better than the regular Barbarian. There's a couple of things that the regular Barbarian is good at over the Urban Barbarian, but for what we're doing here especially, we pretty much want everything that the Urban Barbarian gives over the regular vanilla. We're going to put 20 in Handle Animal, because we have our pet, Doomguy has our pet bunny, which got mercilessly slaughtered, and that's the whole reason why he's going on a rampage in hell, is because one of the demons decided it would be smart to kill the bunny. Obviously, it was not smart. So we're just going to put 10 in acrobatics to bump us up to our 80 skill ranks total, and call it a day. That's all we need to do for skills. Now, weapons. The great thing about the weapons is that we have, let me find it here, weapons. We have firearms. Boom. Okay. So going down, we're going to do, let's see, early two-handed firearms, advanced two-weapon firearm, two-handed firearms rather. So we're going to do the double-barreled shotgun because that is our super shotgun. We're going to do pepper box rifle for our, we'll just go with the double-barreled shotgun for now because that's sort of the iconic, this is the iconic weapon of the Doomguy, is his super shotgun. So whenever we roll our attack roll, it's going to be D20. So it's going to be 1d20 plus our ranged attack modifier up here is 23. The damage on the double-barreled shotgun is 1d8. The critical is ×2. The range is 20 feet. And the misfire is 1 to 2. However, we also have the scatter weapon ability, which if we go down here, or wait, where is the scatter? Let me just, oh, wrong one. Let me scatter weapon. So we can shoot two different types of ammunition. One, we can either target a single creature, or we can shoot a weapon in a cone. Okay. Excellent. So it makes it separate. Okay. So we do that. We have capacity, misfire 2, scatter, capacity 2. So basically on a misfire chance, misfire is on your attack roll, you can either, if you roll an either 1 or a 2 on the die, that is an automatic fail on the die roll, and it will misfire in some way that will it'll jam, basically, is another way of saying it. B and P, so bludgeoning and piercing, because super shotgun bullets hurt. And so going down here, this is feats and special abilities. Now, one of the things that Pathfinder has over D&D is that all of the customization comes from the feats, the number of feats that you have. So racial feat is going to be point blank shot, which is +1 attack and damage, +1 ranged attack and damage in 30 feet. So feats, every odd level, you gain an additional bonus feat, plus whatever your class ability, or depending on your class, you'll get additional bonus feats, depending on the flavor of your class. So, for example, monks will get certain feats that go along with unarmed strike. Fighters will get, every even level will gain an additional bonus feat. So fighters, by the time they're level 20, will have 20 bonus feats total. I think actually it's 21. Let me check. Fighter bonus feat. No, it's 21 bonus feats for the fighter, which is crazy. But luckily, for simplicity's sake, we don't have to worry about that for Gunslinger or Barbarian. So we're just going to go along with bonus 1. It's going to be Precise Shot, which removes penalty for shooting in melee. So basically, whenever you're shooting into combat, D&D has this weird mechanic where you can actually hit one of your party members, which is very annoying to deal with, especially if you roll a natural 1. So what Pathfinder does instead is, rather than a chance to hit your party members, your other players, it instead imposes a penalty for ranged attackers shooting into melee combat. So if, for example, you have one person fighting another, it's just the typical melee combat. One of your party members is in melee combat hitting an enemy. If you are shooting from a distance, you're trying to line up your shot to where it won't hit your ally. And so Pathfinder calculates this as a -4 penalty on your ranged attack roll. Precise Shot gets rid of that. You don't have to worry about attacking your ally. You don't have to worry about potentially missing your shot whenever someone charges in and gets initiative before you. So it's very useful. Very, very useful. Bonus feat number 3, rapid reload. Reload. DB shotgun. You can reload as a free action. It's very useful for double barrel shotgun, especially because as we get into melee, get into fighting enemies, you'll want to have rapid reload so you don't have to spend an action reloading your shotgun shells. Bonus 5 is going to be rapid shot, which is take an additional shot, ranged shot at -2 penalty. That's just another attack. When it comes to Pathfinder, action economy is key. If you have more attacks, you have more damage. You have more damage output, you win faster. So, hello, Trinity Ghost. Welcome to the Pathfinder stream. I am building up. Oh wait, 1 second. Let's see. Okay, so next, bonus 7. This is going to be at level 7. We're gonna just take weapon focus, double barrel. We'll just say DB shotgun. This is going to be +1 to hit, attack roll to hit. Now, very importantly, this doesn't add to damage. So we're going to go up here to our attack modifier, and we're going to bump it up to D20 plus 24. That just adds to our accuracy and opens up a couple of new feats for us coming up here shortly. So, bonus number 9, snap shot. This allows us to threaten attacks of opportunity within 5 feet with our shotgun. Threaten 5 feet with DB shotgun for attack of opportunity. Now, there's going to be a couple of abbreviations here. Attack of opportunity. Basically, whenever someone is moving within your threatened range. So whenever an enemy is next to you and is moving in some way around your character, you get an attack of opportunity, which is a free attack on that person. You almost always want to take these. And then bonus 11, caveat, you only get 1 per attack unless you only get one attack of opportunity per round unless you have combat reflexes, which increases number of attack of opportunity per round equal to Dex mod, which up here currently is 3. So whenever we take an attack of opportunity, we can take up to 3 per round. Actually, wait, let me check that. Yeah. Okay. So it is actually up to your dex bonus. So that's pretty straightforward. Next up, we're going to take improved bonus. So bonus 13. So at level 13, we're going to take improved snapshot. Now we threaten 10 feet with DB shotgun. That's just bumping up our ability with that's just bumping up our effectiveness with the shotgun so that we can take attacks of opportunity up to 10 feet. So we just threaten even more demons, which Doomguy is going to be very happy about. So bonus 17, or 15 rather, is going to be extra rage power, which we'll get into shortly. We're going to finish up the feats here real quick. Bonus 17. It's going to be, oh, at this point, we're sort of done with the build. So we'll just go ahead and do Vital Strike, which will be add 1d8 to, well, add weapon damage again to damage roll. And that'll be a specific action that we take. And then bonus 19, improved Vital Strike. Add another weapon damage die. Boom. So whenever we Vital Strike, DB shotgun, it'll be a single attack roll, and it'll do 3d8 points of damage. And it'll use the same stats as the regular shotgun. So yeah, that'll be pretty straightforward. Now then, rage powers. I mentioned this briefly. But now we're going to get into what we're doing with those. So we'll do rage power. So we get in total, every even level of Barbarian, we get rage power. So in total, I believe we get 9. Rage power 1. Because it's every even level, so we'll get up to 18, so we'll get 9. Yep. So rage power 2. We'll just do that. Okay. So rage power 1, we're going to go with Brawler. So as long as we are raging, we have improved unarmed strike. Improved unarmed strike lets us punch things without provoking an attack of opportunity. That will work out nicely for us coming up here. Especially since with the Doomguy, he has a special thing in the new game called Blood Punch. So let's see. Get improved unarmed strike from raging. So next up, rage power number 2 is going to be Superstition. And Superstition gives us +2 morale to saving throws versus all magic. Which actually goes up by 4 for every 4 levels he's attained. So that's going to be plus 6. 6 morale to saving throws versus all magic. Rage power 3 is going to be Witch Hunter. And this goes along with Doomguy hunting down demons and the occult and all that. He gets plus 5 damage to creatures with spells or SLAs. So spell-like abilities. Basically, Simu-alert chat, not quite live. Maybe an undead chat moaning occasionally. Sounds like something that Doomguy should take care of. Anyway, next up, Rage Power 4 is going to be Lesser Celestial Blood, which, if you've paid attention to the storyline of the Doom games, the Doomguy has a bit of a angelic power within him. So when raging, weapons are good aligned. And weapons are good aligned. Plus, and also he deals 1d6 melee, an additional 1d6 melee whenever fighting an evil outsider, so fighting demons. Evil outsider. Boom. That's going to be a bit hard to read there, but yeah. Next, Rage Power 5. Unexpected Strike. And this is going to be just for reference, this is every rage power is at every even level of Barbarian. So this is at total character level 11. Unexpected Strike. Attack of opportunity against any movement regardless of if it would provoke. It's very useful for hitting people with your shotgun when they're least expecting it. It's like they're trying to move around you. They think they're moving within... they think they're moving outside of your line of sight. No, you turn around, you point your super shotgun, and you fire. That's the sort of... class fantasy that it's getting. Next up, Rage Power 6, Bloody Fist. Now this is why we got Brawler. Is we are once per rage, punch through. Once per rage, rip and tear. Basically, this allows us, whenever we're doing an unarmed strike, we critically hit with an unarmed strike, and then the opponent has to make a fortitude save or be ripped and teared. It's going to be great. So, rip and tear on crit. Unarmed crit. And you deal 1d4 con damage on failed fort save. Basically, they have to fortitude save, or you do a lot of damage to them. It's not good. Next up, Fearless Rage. Rage Power 7. Fearless Rage. When raging, immune to shaken and frightened. Oh, just immune to ever feeling fear. Mighty Swing. And this is going along with level 15. We get our extra rage power. Mighty Swing. Yeah, we literally punch him so hard he explodes. Bloody Fist. So Mighty Swing. Auto confirm critical hit. Now this goes along with Bloody Fist. So whenever we critically hit with our unarmed strike, we use Mighty Swing to automatically confirm that critical hit and rip and tear, basically. Rage power 8, disruptive. And basically this goes along with disruptive and the upcoming rage power 9 spellbreaker. Basically disruptive and spellbreaker go along with the idea of fighting and focusing into fighting the occult and fighting demons and people who cast nasty spells. So I believe with that, we're done. That is everything in terms of a character build. Next up would just be taking care of various magic items and equipment and stuff. But the thing about magic items and equipment is it's up to, it's not really up to the player. It's up to the GM to create items that go along with your character idea. Some things that you'll want to look out for, things that increase your any sort of physical ability. You'll want to get those so you can add to your ranged, as well as your blood punch. You'll want to, oh well, actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and unarmed strike, add that to our weapons when raging. So 1d20 plus 23, and that'll be brawler gives us 1d. Well, let me double check that actually. Improved unarmed strike. Improved unarmed strike gives us, I think, yeah, weapons, there we are. Unarmed strike is 1d3 plus our strength, which is 3. So we'll do a minimum of 4 damage every punch. It's decent, but it goes along. It's part of why whenever you're raging, you'll be adding up a bunch of strength bonuses. It's not so much the damage die. It's more the weapon. The weapon bonus. So I think with that out of the way, that is our Doomguy. Boom. That's Doomguy and Pathfinder. So hope y'all enjoyed fixing up a little idea thing for that. Hope it gives you a little bit of an idea of what you would like to do for a potential character idea if you have a Pathfinder game going on your end. I'll go ahead and leave this up for a little bit. Are there any questions in the chat? Specific, it can be anything. Specific questions on like how this build works. What do I need? Was there something that I need to clarify a bit more? But yeah. So other than that, I think we're pretty much done here. It's just a quick little stream. I say quick little stream. We've been here nearly an hour. Hopefully the music wasn't too loud when I was going over that info. What was the alignment again? Chaotic and neutral, especially with the new Doom Eternal that came out. He has proven that he will kill both angels and demons, and so I've bumped him to chaotic neutral. I was originally going to go with chaotic good because he's fighting demons and whatnot, fighting for the good of humanity. But I'm going to go with chaotic neutral because he'll fight. In order to fight for the good of humanity, he will fight both angels and demons. So I'll actually write that all out here. Chaotic neutral. Boom. Okay. I see a lot of people loading their shotguns with malicious intent. Yes, that's basically what this build is. One of the things that would need to be considered, it would depend on the GM. One, the availability of firearms in general. If you're not able to use firearms, then it's easy to re-flavor this to be to just take all levels of Barbarian and then take instead of using firearms, use something like a heavy crossbow or something like that. That'd be it'd be a bit harder to sort of flavor it the same way, but it basically does the same thing. Instead of shooting bullets, you're just shooting little crossbow bolts, but it's basically the same. So it would depend on the campaign, whether or not you're allowed a super shotgun. But if you're building something like this, I would assume that your DM is willing and able to allow advanced firearms. Also, how much fodder that GM gives. Is there any way to give Doomguy a bonus if he kills an enemy? Well, that's a good question. The usual way that you... Oh, you know what? You get that from Gunslinger, actually. So the grit and the deeds, there's specific abilities that the Gunslinger gets. And I think I'll actually go in here and clarify what each one does here real quick. Yeah. So like in the game where you chain kills. So the deed, let me get this real quick. So Deadeye, you get to resolve against touch. So you get to attack touch AC at all range increments. So gun tanks resolve, quick clear, standard action, remove broken condition from firearm, and then gun tanks resolve. What was that? Let me go down here real quick and pull that up. I'm just going to clarify these here. But if crit or sneak, if taking crit or sneak attack damage, spend 1 grit to negate to gain miss chance. 25% miss. So it wouldn't necessarily give a damage bonus. There is a specific deed in there that gives it, but rather than getting a, well, actually here, let me, grit is equal to 1 plus wisdom. So 1. So basically you just use one of these things at a time. So Deadeye, Gun Tank's Resolve, or Quick Clear. Deadeye, you get to attack touch AC at all of your range increments. So no matter how far away the target is. So you spend 1 grit and you attack their touch AC. And then standard action. As long as 1 grit. So there's a couple of things here. So deeds. You see, this is a work of art. So deeds. Whenever you take a level in Gunslinger, you get grit and deeds. Grit is a resource pool. In particular, our Doomguy has 1 grit because he's a level 1 Gunslinger. And his wisdom is 10, so it's perfectly average. So whenever you're fighting and you use one of your grit points to get Deadeye or Gun Tank's Resolve or the special ability from Quick Clear, you spend that grit and you need to regain that grit somehow. The way that you do that is you confirm a critical hit with your firearm, or if you kill someone with a firearm, you regain that grit. And then that allows you to continue using Deadeye, Gun Tank's Resolve, Quick Clear. It allows you to continue chaining your deeds together. So it's not a damage bonus per se, but it's a utility bonus that will continue going along the more kills you rank up. The more kills you ramp up, the more times you're able to use your grit points. So it's sort of the trade-off that you get. It's not a straight up damage increase. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. There's not really a increasing damage bonus. Instead, it's just a utility thing. Any other questions? I'm sure that your DM, if you convince them, if you can sweeten the deal somehow, they will give you a special ability on your shotgun where if you every kill you get within, say, like every kill you rank up in an encounter, it also increases the damage you do by 1 or something like that. Something small, but it's something that ramps up over time. So the more that you're killing, the more that you're able to kill. You know, it'd just be something that you can talk with your GM about. It's not something that's properly Pathfinder legal, but it would be something that is homebrew legal, you know. And that's, here in this case, we're not talking homebrew. We're just talking straight up by the book legal stuff for the Pathfinder game. But when it comes to homebrew stuff, talking with your GM, pretty much anything is allowed unless the rules specifically state otherwise. or another, or the rules specifically give another substitute for it. Just basically, it's pretty flexible. Anyway, any other questions? Love the fucking Doom soundtrack here. Yeah. It's not too loud for you guys, is it? I turned it down on the stream, but I've got it going on my speakers here. Okay, excellent. If there's no other questions, then I think we are good to go ahead and call this a stream, because that's pretty much what we were going to do today. So I'm going to go get me some lunch and get to working on some voice stuff. So until next time, I hope all of you enjoyed, and I hope that this was a bit of a learning experience. If there's any questions outside of what we've talked about in the stream here today, feel free to leave comments down in the comments below, and I'll answer them in text form. Or if you have questions that you want answered live, you can ask them in the next live stream, and we will get to those and get a pretty concise answer out of it. So until next time, y'all have a good one, and we will see you in the next